Welcome to Ashoka Online Academy. Students, my name is Vihar. I have completed my graduation in BTech Mechanical Engineering and I completed my post graduation in MA in Economics. Okay, so I will be teaching the paper 3 of Group 2, which is Economic and Development. So in the paper 3 of Group 2, which is Economic and Development, it mainly focus on three aspects, or I can say the TSPC has divided the subject into three aspects which will be covered. So according to the syllabus, in the paper 3, the economy will be coming under paper 3. The economy will be coming under paper 3. So it will be coming under paper 3 of the preliminary examination. As you all know, in the syllabus there is only one type of examination or only one level of examination, which is preliminary examination. So this comes under paper 3, that is economic and development. This comes economy comes under paper 3, which is called as economy and development. So it was divided into three parts. It was divided into three parts for 150 marks. It was divided into three parts for 150 marks paper. For 150 marks paper. Now, in the three parts, first part is Indian economy. In the three parts, first part is Indian economy. Now, Indian economy, it is again divided into four parts. It is the Indian economy is again divided into four parts. First part is economic growth and development. First part is economic growth and development. In the economic growth and development, the aspects which will be covered, are what is economic growth, what is economic growth, what is economic development, what is economic growth, what is economic development, and factors of economic growth and development, factors of economic growth and development with respective theories. Factors of economic growth and development with respective theories. Now, when you see the previous year papers in this aspect, students, the major questions are from the theories and major questions are from the statistics, which are related to economic growth and development, So the major part or the first part of Indian economy is economic growth and development. That in the economic growth and development, main concepts would be economic growth and development, their definition, their aspect, their theories, as well as factors of economic growth and development, and statistics related to economic growth and development, When you see the previous year paper, students, it is mainly focusing on, it's generally focusing on the aspects of statistics related to economic growth and development. For example, what is the growth in the GDP? What is the growth rate in the GDP in the percentages when compared to the previous year? So you need to understand the concepts of economic growth and development, and you should link the subject with the statistics. So our role will be first categorizing the static subject and then going for the statistics, So in the first part of Indian economy, we should concentrate on economic growth and development, their aspects, and statistics related to it. Now, next concept in the Indian economy is measures of economic growth. Measures of economic growth. This measures of economic growth is generally discussing regarding the measures are the ways. The measures are ways to calculate economic growth. Ways to calculate economic growth. Ways are measures to calculate economic growth. Ways are measures to calculate economic growth. So in these aspects there are many ways in which any government calculates their economic growth with the help of GDP, GNP and others. So measures of economic growth relates to GDP, GNP and other statistical measures which the government calculates its economic growth So the second part would be on the basis of calculation of economic growth in the terms of GNP, in the terms of GDP and other aspects which will be dealing in the detailed sessions, which will be dealt in the detailed sessions of the economy. Now next is poverty and unemployment. Next concept is poverty and unemployment. So it clearly discuss, or we will be clearly discussing poverty and its concepts. We'll be clearly discussing poverty and its concepts, and unemployment again its concepts. Unemployment and its concepts. So it's totally related to poverty and its concepts, unemployment and its concepts. Now, and interlink between them. And interlink between these two concepts, that is poverty and unemployment. That will be discussed in third part of Indian economy. Next, in the part 1, fourth point is towards the planning. See, planning is a concept which is with India after our independence. It discusses regarding economic planning of a country. It clearly discusses regarding economic planning of a country. So in the beginning of after independence, our planning was only basis on 5-year plans. Our plans are clearly based on 5-year plans. Now these 5-year plans became the objectives of the government that must be implemented for the 5 years, to bring overall growth in the economy, to bring overall development in the economy. So these 5-year plans clearly indicated the steps that must be followed by the government to achieve economic growth and economic development. So this comes under planning. We will be discussing the history of planning, history of 5-year plans, what was the last 5-year plan, what is the present planning system present in India. Okay, we will be seeing the Niti Aayog transformation, etc. in the part 1, that is in the 4th subcategory. Now part 2 in the paper 3 of economy, part 2 in the paper 3 of economy, part 2 in the paper 3 of economy is economic development of Telangana. Is economic development of Telangana. As you all know students, group 2 is the examination of Telangana Public Service Commission. So you would be preferring your job or you would be doing your job in Telangana. So you need to understand the basics of Telangana. You need to understand the basics of Telangana. That's the reason why we have Telangana formation movement, Telangana history, we have Telangana laws, we will be having Telangana economy too in the group 2 syllabus. So in the Telangana economy, it discuss regarding economic development of Telangana as the paper heading is. Now when you see the contents of this, first content is Telangana economy in undivided AP. In undivided AP, that means it is not talking regarding pure Telangana first. It is talking regarding the state of Telangana which is present in undivided AP. That too, the time period is given from 1956 to 2014. You all know students, 1956 is the year of state of Andhra Pradesh formation. Before it would called as Andhra state. Now in 1956 Andhra Pradesh state was formed. So from formation of the 1956 Andhra Pradesh state to till the date of formation of Telangana, the economy in undivided AP will be the factors of our economic development of Telangana, first part. Next is, it is talking regarding land reforms present in Telangana. Land reforms present in Telangana. Now to understand this land reforms, we need to understand the concept of land reforms, why there is a need of evolution of land reforms, what are the steps taken by the government, and what are the things that are introduced by the government of Telangana which is in undivided AP, and after division also what are the things which were implemented by Telangana in land reforms are as in the form of land reforms, that would be in the second part. Okay, next third one is agriculture and allied activities. Agriculture and allied activities are agriculture and allied sectors. Agriculture and allied sectors. Students, now we are entering into pure economy. Because any economy has only properly 3 sectors. It has only 3 sectors. Whether it may be Indian economy, whether it may be Telangana economy, it focuses on only 3 sectors, students. Those 3 sectors are generally primary sector, secondary, tertiary. Primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. These are the sectors of economy. These are the sectors of economy. Primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Wherever you go in whatever the country is, you will be having only 3 main sectors. And the divisions of these sectors are n number. But the basic houses of the sectors are 3 sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary. So agriculture and its allied activities will be coming under primary sector. Agriculture and its allied activities will be coming under primary sector. Okay, so secondary sector is industrial sector, or generally we call it as manufacturing sector. Second sector is industrial sector, or generally we call it as manufacturing sector. Next, tertiary sector, it revolves around services. Tertiary sector, it revolves around services. So it focuses on services like education, you have salons, you have spas, you have restaurants, hotels, etc. will be revolving under the service sector. Telecommunications, Okay, mobile phones, internet, everything will be coming under service sector. So tertiary sector will be service sector. So in any economy, your focus should be on these basic three sectors to have an overview of the economy, whether it is Indian economy, whether it is Telangana economy. Okay, for these aspects, you should deal with some of the basics of Indian economy and deeper studies into Telangana. So it would be Indian economy as a basic feature, and we'll be discussing deeply into the Telangana economy. Okay, so first part is agriculture and allied activities, which comes under primary sector. Now in the fourth part, it is industry and service sector, which comes under secondary and tertiary. So in the part 2 of economic development of Telangana, there are 4 categories which clearly explains or which clearly asks us to study Telangana economy before undivided AP, in the undivided AP. Next comes Telangana economy which is present now and divided into 3 categories. Those were primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. And tertiary sector. So in this focus, we will be dealing the part 2 of paper 3. So these are the contents of paper 3, part 1 and part 2, students. So we will be dealing with the third part, that is issues of development and change. Issues of development and change. Now I will tell you this paper, students, this part. See, whenever government is trying to benefit the people, there would be some challenges coming in front of the government which cause hindrance for the implementation, of these programs, For example, I will tell you, students, government is implementing many programs and schemes through Digital India program. Through Digital India. Now when you focus on Digital India, students, only 40% of our population is having access to internet. Around 40% of population is having access to the internet. That means rest 60% of population is not having any proper access to the internet. Now, government aim is to implement Digital India, and whatever the service you want, you can directly lodge through online. For example, if you want to file a petition in RTA, Right to Information Act, now you can do it in online. If you want to complain regarding a cyber security issue, you can do it online. There is no need for going into the offices. If you want to apply for PAN card, you can directly apply through the online. There is no need for you to visit the offices. But only one condition, you need to have a internet connection. Now, government is trying to implement Digital India properly, but the 60% of population is not being able to utilize this. The 60% of the population is not being able to utilize this. Now tell me students, if this 60% of the population is not being utilized, then can I say it is not being reached for 60% of population? Digital India is not being reached for the 60% of population. That means Digital India is not being able to reach the people because of only one issue, that is access to the internet. Now, government aim in Digital India is to provide access to the internet also. Access to the internet also. So when the internet is provided, Digital India can be fulfilled. So the only barrier to fulfill Digital India is access to internet. Now which is being trying to solve. Now such type of problems we will be seeing in the issues of development and change. Such type of problems we will be analyzing in the issues of development and change. We will be analyzing in the issues of development and change. Now let's see first thing in the issues of development and change. First thing is development dynamics. First thing is development dynamics. In the development dynamics, first category is regional inequalities. First category is regional inequalities. Now what is regional inequality, students? Regional inequalities means the inequalities between which is present, the inequalities which are present between different states, between different regions of India, between different states, between different regions of India. Whatever it may be, it can be income inequalities, it can be societal inequalities, any type of inequality which is present in the regions of the country or in the regions of the state is called as regional inequality, Next, societal inequalities. The inequality is present between different castes. The inequality is present between different sects of religions. Gender inequality. The inequality present between the genders, men, women, transgenders. What is the inequality? What are the opportunities which are present for men? And what are the opportunities which are present for women? Are they having equal opportunities in the society or any biased opportunities? So it will be coming under this thing. Next is migration and urbanization. Migration and urbanization. Now I'll tell you simple things, students. Government is trying to provide some benefits for the rural population who are present in the rural areas. Now when government started the counting of the members, they were, let's assume they were around 2 lakh population who are living in the backward rural areas. Now to benefit them, government started to provide a scheme. But this could not be implemented properly because of these 2 lakh members, 1 lakh are living in rural area. Rest 1 lakh shifted to urban areas. Rest 1 lakh shifted to the urban areas. When the rest 1 lakh people shifted to the urban area, whatever the scheme which is framed but for these 2 lakh people is not being implemented properly because of these 2 lakh people, only 1 lakh people are present in the rural area, others shifted to urban areas. So migration from the rural areas to urban areas and problem of urbanization. Migration from the rural areas to urban areas and problems of urbanization is also a hindrance for the government to look after the development. Or I can say these are the obstacles for the government to implement the issues of development, and these are the basic obstacles for the government to implement the change which is required for the society, which is required for the people of the country. Next, after this, next is development and displacement. Development and displacement. Next thing is development and displacement. In the consent of development and displacement, we will be dealing with the issues of land acquisition. Land acquisition is nothing but, students, government will be acquiring the land from the people to establish some of the infrastructure projects, maybe like for example, we have seen in many movies that the villages or the population in the villages are being tried to move out of the village by taking their acquiring lands, where in the movies it is illegally acquired, whereas in the reality life the government will be acquiring the land for infrastructure development, land for infrastructure development. For infrastructure development, that means building national highways, building dams. They would be acquiring different regions. They will be asking the people to vacate. For this vacating, they will be providing some compensations. For this vacating of their land, they will be providing some compensations, as well as government will program to relocate them. Government will be programming them to relocate these populations. Suppose a village is taken under a project, Now in this village the project is built, but the people who are living will be relocated into other areas, will be shifted to other areas. Now this shifting process is called as resettlement and rehabilitation. These shifting procedures are called as resettlement and rehabilitation. Now in this concept, what are the things which is followed by the government of India as well as government of Telangana, we will be discussing. What are the things that are being followed, or what are the laws, what are the rules and regulations which is being followed by government of Telangana and central government. And central government we will be discussing on the respects of Telangana government and central government. Now in the part 3, third aspect is economic reforms. In the economic reforms category, it is talking regarding growth, poverty, unemployment, social development, social transformation, social security. Social development, social transformation and social security. Now I'll tell you the concept, students. What are the reforms undertaken by the government of India, government of Telangana to help the society? For example, in the social development concept, it is regarding education. And health aspects. What are the steps taken by the government of Telangana? What are the steps taken by the government of India to enhance the development process in education and health. In education and health, that will be discussed in the part 3, third topic, as a third topic. Next, last thing and most important thing is sustainable development goals, students. Is sustainable development goals. Now when you see the concepts of sustainable development goals, students, another most important topic, that is sustainable development. Now the concept of sustainable development is being followed by all the countries with the international cooperation, through different international organizations, to benefit the peoples of the world, The basic sustainable concept is this, students: utilizing the resources present by saving the resources for the future generations. Now in this concept of sustainable development, UNDP, United Nations Developmental Program, has set some goals for the sustainable development concept. Those are 17 goals. So we will be going through these goals. What are the steps taken by the government? What are the steps taken by Niti Aayog? What are the steps taken by the Niti Aayog? What are the steps taken by Telangana? And what are the things done by the Telangana government in the consent of these 17 goals? Okay, so this is the syllabus, and this is the concepts which are present, or these are the concepts which are present in paper 3, economy and development. Students, this paper is consisting of 150 marks. Of all 150 marks, when you analyze the previous papers, I came to an understanding that all the part 1, part 2 and part 3, part 3 is in this page, students, part 3. All the part 1, part 2 and part 3, are equally divided almost. That means of 150 questions, 50 are from Indian economy, 50 are from economic development of Telangana, and 50 are from paper 3. So every paper has got equal division and equal opportunity in the examination. So every part is not, I can say, this part is important, this part can be neglected, it cannot be said in the paper 3. The reason is only simple thing, students. These parts are divided equally and their relevancy in the examination is also similar. So we will be dealing, from the next session, we will be dealing these concepts in the module wise of part 1, part 2 and part 3. We will be focusing on every session, will be having the same categorization. First is statistics, or generally they refer it as basics. Then generally they will be referring as basics. After referring to the basics, current events associated with these basics, current events associated with these basics plus MCQs, that is the multiple choice questions in relevance with the paper 3 of group 2, in relevance with our subject. Suppose if we are dealing with the measures of economic growth, if we are dealing with the concept of GDP, then of this concept, what can be an expected questions? What are the previous questions in the previous paper? So by arranging in the modules of the previous questions, we will be framing some of the MCQs, multiple choice questions, which would be a practice questions for you, which would be a practice questions for you. So for every topic, this is the flow of events. First would be the basic classes, then it would be linked with the current events, and after linking with the current events, we will be going through the MCQ sessions, multiple choice questions, because students, whatever the knowledge you gain, but you should implement this knowledge in the MCQ formation of examination, or I can say in the MCQ format of our examination, in the MCQ format of our examination. So from these classes, you will be learning the basics and how to implement this basic knowledge for solving the multiple choice questions, because without subject you cannot do this, and without practice you cannot make the paper 3. So you need to have two things. One is subject plus answering skills. One is subject, another is answering skills. Now subject will be doing, you will be doing revision for the subject. For answering skills, you will be solving n number of questions. You will be solving n number of questions. So without solving questions, students, without practicing the examination papers, if you write the exam, it would be a waste of time which you prepared these concepts. After preparing these concepts, if you did not practice MCQs, then you will not have any knowledge, or I can say you will be having a zero knowledge in answering skills. When you don't have knowledge in answering skills, the concept or the learning pattern is waste. So that's the reason why we are providing the sessions in the concepts of basics, current events and MCQs. With these MCQs, you will be gaining knowledge of answering, and with revision you will be gaining the marks. So our target is out of 150, 150. Our target is gaining 150 out of 150, because it's simple. Basics, attach it to the current events and try to answer questions. So for every part we will be providing this, and on this basis only, or on this structural basis only, our paper 3 economic development will be discussed. So this is the syllabus description of economy and development, students. So there is another aspect which must be discussed over here, that is regarding books. That is regarding books. Now regarding books, students, there is no proper book which contains all these topics in the market. That means there is no single book which contains all these topics. If you want to go through Indian economy, you should buy another book. If you want to go through Telangana economy, you should refer another book. So there is no single book. First most important point is no single book for the syllabus. So for the basics concepts, our class notes. For the basic concepts, our class notes is more than enough. Don't waste time buying books. Don't waste time buying books. So our class notes will be more than enough. Okay. But one important thing you should do is reading socio economic outlook of Telangana. Socio-economic outlook of Telangana. Socio-economic outlook of Telangana, which is must and should be read book, or which should be compulsory read to understand the current events. So basics concepts, our classroom notes are more than enough. For gaining extra knowledge, we will be discussing socio-economic outlook, but you should buy it and you should read it. So these become the sources of paper 3. These are the sources of paper 3. Our class notes plus reading socio-economic outlook. When you do these two things properly in a systematic and holistic manner, then 150 marks in paper 3 is damn sure. 150 marks in the paper 3 is damn sure, because we will be discussing the previous year paper also. When you see the previous year paper, after discussing the syllabus, after discussing the MCQs, we will be discussing the previous year question papers. When you see the previous year's question papers, you will be clearly able to understand why I am telling 150 marks is damn sure. So students, be prepared for the classes. We will be dealing with the economy and development of paper 3. Okay, and be ready with only single book for our thing, that is socio-economic outlook of Telangana, which is released recently. So buy it or print it and ready with the notes for doing our economic and development concepts. So this is the syllabus description and detailed analysis of the paper 3 students, and the reference resources. Okay, so we will be dealing the next session with the concepts of economy and development. Thank you students, have a good day.